So here we are with episode 22 of The Dangers in My Heart. Last episode, we saw Pigman and spring break is coming to an end, so Ichikawa, Yamada, and the rest are going to be coming back to school as third years. Whether Ichikawa and Yamada are going to get into the same classroom, well, I suppose we will just have to pray to God, and by God, I mean Norio. If you guys like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have my full length up on Patreon and early access in the YouTube memberships. Other than that, let us get started. Your new year in the third year classroom. Alright. As Moeko. Oh, y'all still gonna be hanging out together? In my new classroom. Alright, hopefully if he comes into his classroom, it's gonna be the same as yours, right, Yamada? Damn, dude. You think the whole classroom can hear this doki doki right now? Ooh, calls him by his first name in front of everyone! Uh-oh! She was just so excited, though. Ha! 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 Wow! Oh no, Rincha! I believe they showed that in the anime as well, right? With Rin? All the way back in the first episode, because Rin is the person who hit Yamada in the basket with the basketball. But there was this part where Yamada was waiting for Ichikawa, and Ichikawa was just like, well, why are you following me? Weren't you waiting for somebody? And she couldn't say that it was him that she was waiting for. So then she uses Rin as an excuse, right? Like, oh, hey, Rin, I'm actually here to meet up with you. But I currently can't remember whether they did show that in the anime or not, because I'm a little blurry on the small details of first season. And that's the only thing I have to say. With her going up to Rin. Rin is just a fucking scapegoat. I wonder why. Moeko has the fucking defender. Uh-oh, she's in there, she's... She wanted to be dramatic. She's not in the right... Held back a year. Why are you... When none of you transfer? Wow, they just forgot her name on there. Is she on the same class? Everybody's together! They're trying to pick a fight with the teacher. Let's get your shoes. She wasn't even wearing these shoes. Ru and Yuka, the basketball girls. Moe, Kankan. Yuri ne. I thought she was gonna turn around, but no, she's just maintaining eye contact. Oh, coming on over. Oh, he's sitting next to Rin. Ha! Rin is the scapegoat. Oh, damn, dude. Hang around after. Damn, she left the note for him, and I used Rin as a... Is she the PE teacher? Yamada, Adachi's not in there. R.I.P. Alright, it's the first day, my guy. Chill. And Hanzawa. Yuri. Ando. Wow, they're just the only people left in this class. Ooh, a GIF. Oh, for his birthday. Wait, what is this? I was like, it looked like a collar for a dog. Uh-oh. Here comes Kankan. No! 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 No, Kankan. No! You're forcing them! Oh. Great idea. Oh no, Moeko. Fucking troll, dude. Oh, that's what they're... The logical answer would have been, yes, we have. We have gone out a lot of times before. I'm ratting you out the Kankan right now! Yeah, now that you're getting all the deets and not him. You are? Oh! Even after she's away for 45 minutes. Oh, here she is, fucking watching. Oh, Kanzaki. Almost giving it away. Ooh! Ooh! That's right, Adachi. We're good friends. Now that you're alone. He stopped by the stairs where, you know, they usually hang out too. Last year anyways, right? She's... Oh, no, you aren't. Ha! Nope, those are the basketball girls, I believe. Oh. Trying to sneak in. Kankan is... Y'all, she can at least read your lips, right? I'm not. Yeah, gotta do this on your own terms. Kana. Oh! Destroyed. Long time. Oh, he's flexing, dude. He's flexing. Oh, shit. 6 whole centimeters. Whoo! Oh, he sees the difference in their height. He was trying to hide it. He also wrote as Anna, because she wrote as Kyotaro? Or is it... But... Oh! Oh! physically? Goddamn. Ooh. She doesn't mind being close to you physically. Oh, look at that. Pulling him into a hug in their own little confined space. Hi, Yurine. Hi, I'm just here to read a book. Excuse me, Yurine is like right on the other side. She's so close to them. Bye, Yurine. Bye. She's so what? Oh my god. Hanzawa, is that her last name? Ooh, first seat picking. Alright, let's see where you sit, my guy. Maybe it's... Uh-oh. Of course, he sits right in the corner. Your main character, my guy. The subtitle just says Yamada. Did she say, would you like to switch? I believe so. Ha! And they're sitting right in front of Kana. Ooh, look at him put... Man's being a tsundere. Oh, she had an idea. I don't know what this idea is. Did she just leave all this stuff on her desk? Oh. Oh. We are going out as of April 10th. Look at that. She fucking knows you, my guy. Alright, we're starting to get close to writing a confession, especially with how you started it off. Just leave us alone, bro. So look, it was close to becoming a confession. He's decided that he's gonna at least try to keep that closeness, huh? Oh, there's Yurine. Oh, they drew her so pudgy there. Yes? Yes? Because you guys forced them into it. Yes! Yes! Bye, Yurine! Bye! Oh, up she goes. That's it! We've got introduced to our two new characters. They've got, like, all these other people that they're showing, like, you know, part of Kobayashi's basketball club and all that, but, you know, whatever, who cares? Toss them out the side. The two important characters that we're here introduced to, right, is Kankan, or Kana, and Yurine, and, the threat that they pose, right, is that Kankan loves celebrating people, getting flash mobs, and forcing people to confess to one another, and then force them to sing and dance in, like, whatever other event that they were talking about. And while one person, aka Yurine, thinks about the whole thing, right? It's like, oh, they broke up, so, like, are you saying that we shouldn't have celebrated it? Kankan, it's just gonna be like, nah, we need to do it again! Let's go! We should have celebrated them even more! Well, I'm just gonna go right back to the center, and that's it. that's it. The video just ends. Alright, so that was episode 22 of BokuYaba. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty good episode. We're heading on over to the third year. We're seeing new people. We're seeing who got split up and who stays, right? The original core group of Yamada is continued to be in the same classroom, right? The whole thing that Kobayashi has, you know, it worked. Her plan worked out in the end. They're all together now. Great for them. Unfortunately for Adachi, but not really unfortunate for us, the viewers, and honestly everybody else in that class. Adachi is in a different classroom, and because of that, he's trying to get the deets through Ichikawa now, and because he can't exactly be there 24th, but you know, be there all the time. And also, I mean, if Adachi comes over, it's kind of obvious that he's here to just fucking ugo at girls. I just want to make note that this part of the anime covers volume 8, and I don't have the physical copy of it, and this part of the manga in general is a little blurry for me because it's kind of like the middle-ish, and usually the middle parts kind of get a little blurry because I don't really reread it as much as I do the beginning and like the current standpoint that we are at in the manga. So if there are like small minor details that are switched, or you know, chapters are switching to make sense in the anime, I'm not gonna catch that. So I'm not gonna be talking about those as much anymore. I kind of stopped talking a little bit about it before. Oh well, actually no, I think 2 episodes ago I went on a whole fucking rant about how different it was. But you won't get that much from me anymore just because I don't have the material on hand. I don't really want to pull up from like the internet and look at it just because that takes a whole lot more time than me just being able to skim through it in the through the physical copy. Getting that out of the way, here we are in the beginning with Ichikawa coming to his first day as a third year, and everybody's looking at the classroom board and everything. He gets tricked out by Moeko, who says, "Oh, you're in the same class as me." God, dude, Moeko was on troll mode this episode. It's so good, dude. I like that here in this part with the class list, Ichikawa finds his name, and I assume Yamada found her name as well. That's why she knows she's in the first class. But they didn't look at each other's names. They didn't look for each other's name, and they kind of just left it to fate. Okay, because if Yamada looked into at this class at the list, she would see that Ichikawa was on it, and so the surprise wouldn't really be as big as when he head into the class. And maybe the same thing goes for Ichikawa as well. Yeah, she did write in her text that she only looked for her own name, and she's in her new classroom now, so she left it up to fate. And so Ichikawa comes on in, right? He opens, he sees her, he was surprised, I believe. Hold on. Yeah, he was surprised. He was tensed up, opening up the class, like, okay, I hope Yamada is here. And he's surprised that she is here. So he comes in, she's very happy, calls him by his first name, yells it out in front of everyone. Moe goes in the back like, oh, fuck. These two idiots. And she's going, whoa. Okay, so these are 2 new characters, Kankan and Yuri. And then there's these 3 boys who look like they're delinquents. You know, you can just see it from their eyes and from their haircuts, and from the way that, you know, they've got one bun unbuttoned. Because of that outburst, Ichikawa has made it his plan for the rest of the episode to try to separate himself from Yamada, keep their distance. Don't want to make it too obvious that they are friends with one another. Although he did wonder why they had to keep distance if he's not dating her. As I mentioned, despite Moeko being a troll, she is out here trying to protect these two, or she's trying to defend them, right? Talking about how Anna sure gets in everyone's personal space. She gets all handsy, even with the boys, you know? Even with the boys, she gets handsy. So she gets her to touch this dude who, I feel like, is that the same guy as the person who, that Yamada was, Moeko was trying to get Yamada to get his line? Might be the same person, but I'm only seeing that because of his hairstyle. Maybe his eyes too, but I don't know. Might be a whole different person. Although I do love that Moeko gets to this point just to get Ichikawa jealous. Right? She's making Yamada touch some other boy and he's just over here like, nope. And she's like, yeah, got a problem with this. There's also this part where Kobayashi her name was not on the list, so they head on over to the teacher who looks through it and he's just like, okay, it seems like you're in class 1. And so everybody's happy except Kobayashi, who's just fucking yelling at him, you know? What is it? You did this on purpose. I know you did, admit it. Yeah, that's what she says. And they have to drag her out of the room. Okay, so the teacher goes out and he's like upset about the class placements. And Ichikawa says, no, not really. Just felt bad thinking you might have pulled some strings. To which after that, the teacher tells this man, who I would presume maybe he's the principal. And he says, see, sir, I told you he'd be alright. Which is also very fun, considering that this were the principal, or maybe just another teacher. Who knows? That they do keep Ichikawa in check. I think that's pretty fun as well, because like if they do keep him in check, they know that they know how much he's changed from like year 1 to now where he is in year 3. So just that small little details about the teachers caring, and we know that this guy when they were at the 3rd year farewell speech, right, he was out here crying and all that. So it's that feeling of like he truly does care about the teacher. I already mentioned about this guy, so I enjoy it. It's a nice detail. Look, we love teachers who care about their students out here, all right? Going back to the classroom, we are introduced to Kankan and Yurine. Of course, Moeko knows who Kankan is. And Yurine was in the same elementary school as Kobayashi, so that's how they know that's how they know each other. When it comes to Yurine, well, you know, let's just get it out of the way, you know? There's the fact that there's Yuri in her name. And then there's this one part with Kobayashi coming up to Yurine, or Hanzawa, that's her last name, talking about how, like, we used to get along good in elementary school, you know, and she's just will be like, long time. Kobayashi's joking about it too, and then here's Moeko coming in with a comment, what is she, your ex? And that comment is more pointed towards Kobayashi, but, you know. There's also this part before the scene that we just saw, with Kankan wanting Yamada to call her Kankan, but Yamada's over here like, nah, how about I call you Kana instead, you know? That's a name just for me. After that attack, Yamada's over here petting Kankan's hair, I suppose. But as she's doing that, we've got Yurine, who takes her hand, right? Get off. And tells her, I call her Kana. And I'm just like, alright, Yurine. Towards the end, with Yurine talking about how she doesn't really understand love, and she feels like they did something bad with the whole celebration stuff. And as she was going to go away, since Ichikawa was there, and you know she doesn't want to butt in between them, doesn't want to be the third wheel and all that. Yamada chases after her to tell her to add her online, and she whispers to Yurine, like, I'll teach you all about it. Like the romance stuff, I guess, you know? Yelling, and Yurine just out here got big girl blushes out here, dude. Just yells, I won't have it. Run. Okay, with all that out of the way, I will say, when they first introduced her in the anime and like actually getting to see her hair color, oh my god, dude, it's so hard to not see her and think about Shimamura. from Adachi to Shimamura. But Yurine is only one half of the pair, and so we've gotta talk about Kankan. After the big outburst from Yamada, Kankan is now thinking, are they dating one another? Are they together? To which Moeko is defending them, but also giving off hints as well. Because as Kankan asked that, Moeko's just like, who knows? Well, Ichikawa in his head is just like, no, say no, what are you doing? And so we find that Kankan, if she has an inkling that somebody, that two people got a crush on one another, she is going to celebrate. She says that stuff like this calls for a big celebration, right? She threw a flash mob for these people and managed to get them to ask each other out, and by that, peer pressure, and we basically forced them to do it. And what else did she say? We got them to sing and dance together at our school festival performance too. So we got them, so you forced them to sing and dance together. To which, afterwards, Yuri says that those two broke up over break. I suppose spring break, right? They broke up. And I mentioned it, right, with Yuri wondering what went wrong, what happened. Was that such a bad thing that we did? Kankan's just over here like, no, we should have celebrated more. And perhaps, that kind of goes and makes you wonder how Kankan's life at home is, whether that's how her parents are, where they do big celebrations, and kind of like with what we see with Yamada's parents and how they could be very lovey-dovey towards one another. I don't know if I mentioned that last episode, but I remember writing it in the description, to which, if you don't read the descriptions, there are a lot of times where I write a bunch of stuff in the descriptions for the things that I miss about the anime. Anyways, yeah, so I remember that part with how Mrs. Yamada, right, does a little bit of flirting, a little of getting into that lovey-dovey attitude with her husband when he called her, and when he called her and just gives the phone over to Ichikawa, right? It's that feeling of if they're lovey-dovey with one another, that makes it understandable why Yamada wants that feeling, wants that relationship as well, where she gets to be lovey-dovey with Ichikawa. And so that goes to Kankan. Obviously, we don't know her parents. We haven't seen her parents. We've literally just met her this episode. But it makes me wonder if, that's how her parents would be. That they're lovey-dovey with one another and they do big celebrations with one another. And that's why when she sees this sort of thing, she's just like, we gotta celebrate it, right? It's not a bad thing in her mind. But at the same time, if you fucking throw a flash mob at someone and say, hey, we know you guys got crushes on one another, so you better fucking say yes to each other. Look at all these eyes around you. Don't you want to go out with this person? God, you know what? This gets me into, the whole thing of, I don't like public proposals. It's if it ends well, okay, it ends well. But in that moment, when somebody, typically it would be a guy, right? Because men are supposed to be the one who do the proposals and all that. And I kind of feel like I often see these public proposal stuff happens, and it's usually the man to the woman. That being said, right, it could happen in any gender. I always get so much anxiety knowing that the possibility of that person saying no, right? It's like you do this big elaborate thing. You've got family around maybe, but for the most part, it's probably gonna be a lot of strangers if it's out in a public place. And the pressure for the both of for the both of you, for the person who does the proposal and for the person who's getting the proposal. It's such a big thing, and it's such a big make it or break it, right? And there's only two things that you see. You're either gonna see a fucking train wreck, or you're gonna see, wow, that was a pretty good proposal, and the person who got proposed to said, yes, that's great. But oh, dude, the chances of it is just, because if they say no, it's so fucking bad. it's so fucking bad. Not the fact that they said no. Well, I mean, it is the fact that they said no, but because the other person, maybe they didn't want to be publicly proposed to. Maybe they didn't want other people to fucking see them. Maybe they're super fucking anxious, right? And they don't want to say no. And I just feel bad for the people who feel pressured into saying yes because they're out in public and they're afraid of their reputation, right? They're afraid of their face, of losing face. They just say yes and they just get themselves into this sort of marriage. I do feel bad for that, and overall, I just don't. I'm not a big fan a public proposal. Now, I will say, if the both of you agreed to the public proposal, you know, if you guys have already agreed that eventually that you're gonna get married, right, and you've talked about the whole public proposal, if that's what's all done beforehand, that's totally fine. I would know it, right? If I was just a stranger and I see it, I would know it. But if that's what you did behind the scene, I think that's fine. But like, if it's something that like you've come up with and you've been hiding it, you've been hitting it a secret this whole time, and then the other person says no, you know, it's a lot of wasted effort. All right, I've gotten lost in the sauce. If I can reform that thought and I write it down in the description, then I'll do it, and hopefully it'll make much more sense. Anyways, Kankan talks about her flash mob, and Moeko is over here trying to tell her, like, look, Kankan, flash mobs and stuff, you know, they're probably not good. As Moeko's going to say that, her intrusive thoughts comes in. And she thinks about how fucking pissed Ichikawa is going to be, and she's just like, yes. Yes, let's fucking do it. God, you know Moeko's a true friend out here. She's gonna toss you under the fucking bus before saving you from it, you know? But you know what? It's a good thing that when Ichikawa got out and he pants himself, or maybe Yamada pantsed him because she was stepping on the wallet chain. It was a good thing that Moeko was the person who walked in on this, because like if it were anybody else, I mean, it was Hara or maybe Kanzaki, you know, that would have been fine too. Good thing it was Moeko, but man, Moeko looks at this and she's just like, that's it. I'm so done covering for you two. Moving away from that, here we are with Adachi, who, as I said, unfortunately did not get into class 1, but fortunately for everybody in class 1, he's not in the class. Hara is also in a different class as well, but, you know, I think Hara will be fine by herself, and also Kanzaki, which also kind of makes me think about how Ichikawa was thinking in the beginning. If they did not get in the same class, well, you know, school isn't that big, so they can still hang out with each other some other time, right? After school, at lunch, or whatever, although maybe it'll be a little bit more hard for him and Yamada, because they're still trying to keep things under wrap. But here's Kanzaki and Hara, who is now facing the situation that that Ichikawa managed to escape. But Kanzaki, he just goes over to her classroom anyways. He goes to her classroom every fucking break just to watch her. Because he's just like, I like to see how she acts when she's around other people. And now I'm just like, are you just watching her? Like, alright, stop being a fucking creep, Kanzaki. Anyways, we're talking about Adachi, who is, again, not in class 1, and he's very jealous of Ichikawa. Although I do like that Ichikawa, you know, he gets into this big banter between him and Adachi, and I've kind of already made note that Adachi and Ichikawa are similar to one another. It's just that Ichikawa keeps his feelings much more inside, while Adachi blurts it out when he really fucking shouldn't. And he's being a little bit too much of a pervert, although, you know, when we also kind of see his mom as well, and like somebody was talking to me about how old his mom is, and like how young she was when she had Adachi, right? And perhaps that could be the reason why Adachi is the way that he is. Perhaps his mom is pushing him towards that love, right? Finding your one true love or whatever. Who knows? But here we are. Adachi's laying on the stairs, which honestly looks very fucking uncomfortable. I don't know why he's doing that. Here he is, and here's Ichikawa coming on over to give him a prayer, you know, R.I.P. And as I was saying, right, Ichikawa and Adachi have their banter, and Ichikawa, even though he gets into that banter, he still hangs out with Adachi, right? He still feels some sort of feeling when Adachi and the gang comes over to him to ask for their line, and then they hang out during the sakura tree viewing party or whatever, right? They get to do that. He does think that Adachi is his friends, and he makes note of that when they were walking home with one another. But anyways, Adachi he's deprived of the things that he wants, which is to be able to be in the same class as the popular girls. So he's trying to live vicariously through Ichikawa, right? You make friends, you see any panties, cop a feel on any boobs, yeah. As if you would be able to do that, right, Adachi? But we do have Adachi who kind of gives a little information on Yuri and Kankan. You've got Yamada and Hanzawa, which says that they're the two beauties, and then last year's Class 2 leader, Ando's in there too. Class 2 leader, Ando. Kankan? Well, I mean, Kankan's her nickname. Okay, so as he says that, I love that there's a Moeko picture. Yeah, Moeko's here too. That's so funny. Listen, on the way home, me and Ota from Class 2 are going to need you to spill the deets on Class 1. So Ota is Yamada, I believe, right? Including any panties you caught sight of. Okay, so that's the end of the discussion between him and Adachi, and then here we are after school as they are walking home with one another, which is also very fun because Ichikawa spends most of his time walking alone or biking alone, or he's going home with Yamada. But now here he is, after getting the line from the boys and all that, here they are walking home with one another. And it's just nice for Ichikawa to be able to get his own little friend group and not just have to be around Yamada all the time. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but you know, sometimes you need parts. you need time apart with one another. I also enjoy that they all have different backpack colors, like they're Power Rangers or something. So Adachi says, I'm so jealous of Class 1. And then Ota also says, it's second A in Class 1 too. And I love that he's just like, oh, who cares about second A? Ugh! Who do you like the best? Why do you figure I even got a choice? Just wondering how you feel about your new class. Again, this is Adachi trying to live vicariously through Ichikawa. Didn't think much of it, but it feels nice having everyone be jealous of me. I also love that this is, you know, again, the banter between these two, right? And he's just out here saying this fucking shit, which is very fun, right? He's since he's joking, but, you know, he is, right? Because he certainly wouldn't say this in front of other people, but in front of Adachi, though. I do love that Kanzaki has to comment just to say, I'm in Class 1 too, and I've kind of already talked about Kanzaki and how he goes, but I do want to see the dialogue again for him. So yeah, I snuck off to see Hara in Class 2 during all our breaks. She looks even prettier after she's away for 45 minutes. Like, this fucker, dude. I kind of like seeing how she changes with her new class. And then, there you go, getting creepy again. Yeah, to which, again, are you just sneaking off through your class just to watch her this whole time, bro? Like, stop. Although, as Kanzaki says that, here we have Yamada, who is following Ichikawa just to see how he acts around his friends. You know, as mentioned before, Hara and Ichikawa are similar to one another, so I suppose Kanzaki and Yamada are similar to one another. We've got Kanzaki here talking about how it must be nice getting along with, or to be in the same class as Yamada, and we've got Adachi with a bead of sweat in him. It's just like, why? What do you mean it must be nice to, like, why are you saying that specifically, right? And so Kanzaki, close to revealing the secrets, right? He's just like, no, she's just so pretty, that's all. Like you ever thought that. So even Adachi's just like, no, I remember you telling me that you're not interested in her, you're interested in Hara. So I think that's Adachi kind of like the gears in his mind twirling just a little bit. But here we have a shooketh Ichikawa, and also Yamada trying to see, like, what is he trying to hear what he's going to say next. And so he says, because we're good friends and all. So he says that straight up to Adachi instead of like, oh, Kanzaki's just fucking saying shit, you know? Or we're not actually really that good friends or whatever. But here he is actually saying it straight out. It's because we're good friends. And I mean, Adachi kind of has that idea already back in, like, I don't know, in somewhere in the middle episodes of season 1 when he talks to Ichikawa about how he might have a crush on Yamada, although that crush is still very much of a physical thing. So, like, when they were talking on the stairs and all that, right? That's where Adachi kind of has an idea that, like, oh, you're friends. It seems like you're close with Yamada and all that. Okay, so he says we're good friends and all, and then he's taken aback, right? A little blush on him, and then he just, oh, okay, right? He just walks away with another bead in his sweat. And, okay, so this is what I felt like I kind of missed with Ichikawa thinking, I think the reason I didn't want to brush it away was because Adachi's my friend. Gonna head off here, so he's heading off. Come walk home with us sometimes, though. Okay, might be because I think of Adachi as my friend. So he does genuinely think that Adachi is his friend. And so, unlike all those other times where Ichikawa sabotages Adachi's chances, and, you know, he kind of just does that. But, like, now that he's, like, being faced with Adachi, and not just sabotaging him, but, you know, being directly faced towards him, he tells Adachi that, yes, I am good friends with her, and he doesn't want to lie about it because Adachi is his friend. And, you know, he's got to make sure. He's got to make sure that his friend knows the deets. So there is that change in relationship between Ichikawa and Adachi, and I like that, right? It kind of starts off with Ichikawa being a little upset, a little annoyed at Adachi, but also at the same time, well, he thinks the same thing as Adachi, so like they do have similar perverted thoughts. They are both perverted in their own heads. Again, Adachi just says it out loud, but eventually they end up becoming friends with one another, despite Ichikawa sabotaging Adachi's chances. Whether he actually had a chance or not, we won't know, because Ichikawa took that away from Adachi. Right? The first being Adachi wanting to ask Yamada for her line. The second one was, well, I don't remember the second one's particular, but the second one that I remember, it's not technically his chances, but it was his chance to learn a little bit more about Yamada, but he took that, Ichikawa took that away from Adachi by offering to clean the board of, like, all the spots that you can't touch Yamada in. That's one of the stuff. That there were more. I currently can't remember, because, like, the one thing that Adachi talks about, the comment that Adachi says to Ichikawa is just like, this guy really fucking loves me or something, man. He keeps offering to help me and all that. Oh, that's the other one too, where Adachi got called up by the teacher and Ichikawa offered to answer it in his stead because he didn't want Adachi to come up to the board and see that Yamada is wearing his shirt. It's PE shirt anyways, right, with the name on it. Yeah, that's also another one. I feel like I'm missing maybe one or two more things, but those are some of the situations where he did that. And again, now that he's actually faced directly in front of Adachi, and now that the relationship has changed with one another, right, now that he genuinely thinks. Sorry, I'm repeating myself, so I'm gonna stop. Moving on ahead towards the end with Yurine finding out, and then Ichikawa again trying to push Yamada away because he doesn't want their relationship to be noticed by other people. He finds a note that was written by Yamada because she had planned on writing this and giving it on over to Yurine. And we see in this note, she drew a dog. I guess maybe she's drawing the dog for the dog chain? Maybe? Because the dog looks exactly like that. It's not showing its butt, but it looks like the head and all that. I just love that she drew a dog. I love this imperfect writing. I mean, it's still way nicer than me, to be honest. Wasn't she writing this with a pencil? Now I'm just over here thinking about why she was scratching things out. She's not writing with a pen, she's writing with a pencil. Why did she draw Miss Moria? I do love that she drew Ichikawa. Very fun. But here in this letter, which is essentially, or practically, a confession letter from Yamada, Jesus Christ, and Ichikawa just happens to read like the first half of it before he stops because he doesn't want to get spoiled, alright? He doesn't want to get spoiled for what's gonna happen next. He doesn't want to spoil us either. Ichikawa's he's very concerned about us, the viewers. But yeah, here in this writing of Yamada, as we've known this whole entire time, she understands Ichikawa. She gets this guy. I mean, consider that we know who her dad is. I think she definitely can understand a person like Ichikawa. And as she writes it all down, writes down like not the bad traits, but like the things that makes him push people away and all that, and how she is, and like her journey to becoming his friend and getting closer to him. And you know, it's a little difficult and all that, but it's been doing well. And I love this whole letter in general. It's great, and it really gives us that perspective, that introspection that we don't really get, because this whole story is mainly focused, or not mainly, it is focused on Ichikawa. We are following his head and his perspective instead of other people, because again, we don't often, if ever, we get any thoughts from other characters. And like, again, I can't specifically remember if we've ever gotten any, because like we certainly get some images sometimes, like with Moeko thinking about how funny it would be if Ichikawa was a part of got stuck in the flash mob, right? So like that's, we do get a little bit into Moeko's mind, but we don't really get to hear her inner monologue like we do for Ichikawa. So here in this part, and even though we kind of have that idea from the way that Yamada acts and reacts towards Ichikawa, here in this part, again, we are getting that introspection, that all these thoughts that Yamada has that we don't get to see. It's all written out for us. And it's just nice to be able to see how she sees Ichikawa through her eyes. Anyways, with him reading half of the letter, he's decided that he's not going to continue on with this charade of, oh, we don't actually know each other on in school and all that, right? He's actually decided, okay, you know what, I'll say good morning to you, I'll say hi to you and all that. It try to basically go back to the normal status quo that they had all the way back in the second year. So it's very nice. There's also that one part where Ichikawa is growing taller and, you know, they're looking at the heights and all that, but that's alright. That's alright. I feel like I kind of made note of it during the reaction anyways. And, you know, with him talking about how he wants to get closer to her physically, he's just talking about heights, but Yamada's just like, oh, physically, huh? So there's that as well. And, yeah, overall, I thought this was a really good episode, and we'll just have to see what this third year stuff has in store for us. If I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.